Hi, my name is Joan Devine. I'm an Eden educator and mentor, director of education for Pioneer Network, and I've worked as first an activity professional and then a nurse in long-term care for over 30 years. I'm so grateful to Eden Alternative for letting me be part of these Eden moments, and I'd like to share my thoughts as inspired by a wonderful and wise woman, my mother. Two momisms that have stuck with me through the years, both related to common sense. The first is that she often used to talk about people who had a lot of book learning and no common sense. You need the combo. The second, and certainly my favorite, is common sense ain't such a common commodity. So how does that apply in the times of COVID-19? Well, let's see. I'll be sitting down in the family room with my husband watching the TV, and here's this reporter. And he's standing in front of a 40 or 50-year-old high-rise nursing home in New York or New Jersey or Chicago or any number of places. And just looking at the building, it maybe seems to be a little bit in disrepair. And I'm yelling at the TV. You're asking the question, what's going wrong? Well, turn around. If he would turn around and look at the building and see what we have built to house elders in this country, well, there's the first clue. And then what do you think you'd find if you went inside? Probably double-loaded corridors, semi-private rooms, even wards of 3 or more residents living together. In many cases, no private bathrooms, and sometimes there aren't even sinks and running water in every room. There's staff who frequently work in more than one nursing home out of necessity because they're poorly paid, which is part of the challenge to having enough staff then. There's a culture in this country that thinks that's okay, or who maybe never even looked close enough to know that it isn't okay. So think about that, and then ask the question again, how did this happen? My second little bit of common sense is when I'm out at the store or I venture out and I see people in gloves and masks. Good thing to wear gloves and masks. And I'm not going to debate that one at all, but here's my issue. Common sense. If you're going to use them, please use them right. I remember as a nurse many years ago when we started wearing gloves, and we would have that staff member who would put on the magic gloves and go from room to room to room and patient to patient and object with those same gloves on. Is that really preventing the spread of infection? So think about that one. Apply a little common sense. And then there's the mask. You put it on your face and where does it land? Oh, it's sitting right here, below your nose. Or maybe it's even here on your chin. Think about it, guys. A little common sense. Why are we wearing a mask? So if you're going to wear it, please wear it right. And then here's my third thought on common sense. Quality Improvement 101, accountability versus blame. Common sense told hospitals many years ago that they needed to revamp their performance improvement programs. They needed to focus on increasing ways to get people to report where the problems happen. We know more problems are systematic than caused by people, and yet all we want to do is fix people. You can't do systematic quality improvement, sustainable quality improvement in a punitive environment. That's common sense. Long-term care is making progress, but still consider the process. If you get a citation, you have 30 days to fix it. Now, I tell you, the survey team had 30 calendar days to give it to you. You got they had 30 working days to give it to you. You got 30 calendar days to fix it. And systemic change takes time. It takes more than an educational program and an in-service and a new form and a new policy. It takes time to understand what was behind that problem. And so you can truly change it. So what ends up happening is we have Band-Aids and not systemic fixes. And a piece of common sense that I think is a great example came actually this morning in a newsletter I was reading from Mark Parkinson, who is the president and CEO of American Healthcare Association. And what he said was, it's time to recognize that when nursing homes receive citations, it's a failure not just of the provider, but of CMS and the survey process as well. Citations and fines without assistance will not help us keep residents and staff safe from the virus. That's a really good piece of common sense, Mark. Thanks for sharing it with us. So we're seeing that for homes, where where cultures are grounded in person-centered practices, well, we're seeing it makes a difference. They have dedicated staff, they have smaller living units. The people that live and work there know each other, and so they respond to their personal needs. And in the words of our leadership at Eden, they have just what they have, wise leadership. So let's spread the word. Person-centered cultures are making a difference. Let's commit to finding a way to help them grow in this post-COVID, as we move into this post-COVID world. So let's make common sense a part of everyday practice. Thank you, Eden.